Hello, everyone. Welcome to the world of magic and all the miracles that come from the magic, including us sitting right here together, speaking to one another from nowhere and everywhere. But it's the magic that's floating through your being, through the air that you breathe, through the water that you drink, through the smile in your face, the light in your eyes. It's simply the magic, and it's everywhere in plain sight every second of every day since we come into the physical plane. That's a broadcast right there. Hold on to that feeling. As I was driving from work to here to do the broadcast, just a few minutes away, I pull up at a stoplight, start driving down a side street, and a car is making a left in front of me, and a car is coming out from the right side, and another car pulls in out at the same time. And I just watch the symphony, the synchronicities, the magic as each one rolls up to their place right on the desired or designated time, never feeling threatened or worried, just watching as an observer of the magic. And that's what's happening all the time, every second. And we step into that place in random moments of seeing the magic, feeling the magic, witnessing it. And then we step back out because of our responsibilities and duties in this life, in this physical form. But now I say to you, you can stay even in the midst of your duties and responsibilities. It's a stepping back, and it's become available to all of us all the time. As I drove a little further, made a turn, and a truck was turning in front of me, and it got into the left lane of a 2-lane side street, and I was in the right lane. I was going to make a right in about a quarter of a mile less, and I was just observing, and I all of a sudden had a thought, I wonder if that truck's going to need to make a right. But it was so subtle, and it didn't make me speed up or slow down. I just was observing. A few seconds later, its signal light comes on, gets in the right lane. But I felt it, the driver felt me, and he was actually letting me go ahead. But I wasn't trying to go ahead or stay behind. I was just in the magic of my own life. And then he pulled in front of me, and then there was a slight hill where you merge in to one lane. And again, I felt him letting me go ahead, but I wasn't in a hurry to go ahead. So he went ahead. And then as we went a little further, maybe another quarter mile down this single lane, I thought, oh, I think it's time to go past him. But there was nowhere to pass. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to have him turn left up here at the light. And as we got closer to the light, I heard, or I felt, oh, you're not making him turn. You heard that he's turning. And sure enough, his left blinker came on and he pulled into the left lane. And I just drove by and I waved, not looking at him. I just put my hand up like, this is magic. And another person then turned at the next light in front of me and he looked over into my car as he turned and I waved to him. Don't know what he was feeling, but it was magic. And it's such a life to be in the magic, to be behind and aware of everything that's happening. It's a completely different world. It's an amazing world filled with things you don't see unless you are in that place. And you just watch the dominoes fall and the things happen and the next set of dominoes fall. And you just imagine the flurry of activity that's happening all the time. And knowing that we're influencing it all. No matter what it looks like, we have an effect. We create an effect. So no matter what you might be doing, sitting still, having a conversation, working, you're producing something that's happening that can't be seen in the world of the physical seeing until it's ready to show itself. But all the little steps and everything are being orchestrated. And then you see the result. But come into this world, it's an amazing world. And you detach yourself from the physical demand on you. It's becoming more and more, whereas the day goes on for me, different times, I have to look in the mirror to remember what I look like. I've lost the identity of my appearance. But once I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. But then it leaves. I don't have any reference because I'm in another place. And that too will begin to happen more and more frequently as each person steps into the world that's out in front or the world that's running from behind. You leave all of the responsibilities and you're operating from another place. There are many cycles in our existence, and we're in whatever cycle we're in as we move forward. And there's tremendous amounts of ancient history to talk about where we've come from. And yet it was a part of a cycle, a part of an evolving. And that information, even though true thousands of years before, could not comprehend this being that sits in front of you and the being that is sitting there listening to this. It has evolved just like we see other pieces of life evolve and overcome through their resiliency and through their beingness. And so we have surpassed many of the things that came as a limitation, and even many of the things that were seen as amazing gifts, abilities, technology within the human form. But it's all inside of you. It's inside of you, it's all around you. But the ability to extend your life resides inside of you. The ability to heal yourself resides inside of you. And it's greater than the greatest master that ever lived. When I said once before, it's you, it's always been you. From Lao Tzu to Jesus, he said, greater things than these you will do. It's you, it's inside of you. This place, this magic, this resiliency, this something that can't be explained, but that can't be stopped, that pushes forward into the next cycle as the cycles spin and turn like the planets around the sun. And here we are at this time in this cycle, reaching heights that can't be compared to. And it's just a matter of time. And someone will write about this time and these abilities and these gifts and this magic of this time and this cycle. And a generation from far away from now will look at us. It is an amazing life. And I'm proud to be sharing it with all those who know me, and especially with those who do not. But it is an honor to be with each one of you and to be doing what we're doing. And what we're doing will become more clear as it becomes more clear. But know that it is massive. And you can feel something open and something pour through in the gap between my words. That is what we're doing. Placing things within the gap. So that they will bloom at the appointed time and allow humanity to simply enjoy their life. And then there's my friend, our friend, laughter, always waiting to come forward. I feel like there's three realms or three, I'll call them cycles again. There's birth, there's expansion, and there's death. That particular cycle exists for each person. And yet, we have power over that. But I thought about with those three things, birth, expansion, and death, that there's good shit, there's talking shit, and there's bullshit. And good shit is just good shit. Talking shit is when you're talking shit. And bullshit is when you're making shit up. The more we know, the less we know, the less we have to say. And so, just as that moment of birth, the good shit is profound. It's new. It's perfect. And then we expand. And that's the time we talk a little shit. We talk about what's happening to us. We talk about the amazing things. Sometimes we analyze. And then there's bullshit where we make it seem like it's the only way or the only thing. And we make it seem like we have all the answers, when in fact we actually do. But usually not when we're talking. So laughter happens at all three of those places. And it is the gift that for this time, this cycle in our existence, that is the springboard for new life. There was a man who went golfing. He came back from golfing with his buddies, and they were in the locker room. And the phone rang, and he picked it up, and he said, "Hello?" And the woman on the other end said, "Hi, honey. I just went past my favorite store, and they had my jacket that I love in the color that I love. They haven't had it. They couldn't get it. It's like $2,000." And he said, "If it makes you look good, you should get it." And she said, "Oh, that's great. Thank you so much." And then she said, "And then I was driving by the Mercedes dealership, and they had that car that I've been wanting for so long. It's like $400,000. And he said, "Well, just make sure it has all the options. But if it makes you happy, you should have it." And then she said, "You know, that house we always loved up on the hill was never for sale. It's for sale. It's $5 million." And he said, "Oh, well, make an offer that's lower and then see what happens." And she said, "Oh, you made me so happy. I love you so much. I'll see you later. Bye." And he said, "Bye." And he had been on the phone for 10 minutes. And so when he hung up, his buddy said, "Is everything all right?" And he said, "Yeah, everything's great. But does anyone know whose phone this is?" So if you had a chuckle or a laugh out loud, you've just felt the power that's bringing in the new life. If I try to give it a label, I'll be talking shit. If I try to say it's the chakras or some other thing, I'll be talking bullshit. What we feel is what it is. And that's what laughter is. It's a propellant to your gifts. And we all know it somewhere inside of us. And we all long for it. And some of us are better at it than others, not laughing, but making people laugh. Some of us choose to stay in the seriousness. But that moment when you laughed, if you laughed, is the birth of a universe. That's good shit. As is the smile on my face and the lightness in my heart. So play in the magic. Step back and see it all around you. The bird that flies by you, the cars that turn in front of you, everything is happening. So much more than we think. And I'll read you these words from a song. Always leave them laughing. When you say goodbye, my dad would never preach to me. In fact, he never teach to me the different things that I should do when I'd be here and there. In fact, he said, "Go on alone. You have ideas of your own." You'll never lose if you use the others fair and square. That's just as far as he'd advise, until one day, to my surprise, I went and said I was going to another land to live. And as I went to say goodbye, he saw a teardrop in my eye. Said he, my lad, ah, that's too bad. I've some advice to give. Always leave them laughing when you say goodbye. Never linger long about, or else you'll wear your welcome out. When you meet a fellow with a tear-dimmed eye, you can leave him laughing if you try. When he tells you his troubles, interrupt him with a joke. Tell him one he's never heard, and he'll declare that it's a bird. When he's giggling, good, you'll know that's the time to turn and go. Always leave them laughing when you say goodbye. Maybe not laughing at this moment, but with a big smile on my face and magic everywhere. I send laughter all around you through the good shit, the talking shit, and the bullshit. Cheers, everyone. Enjoy your perfect life, your perfect health, and your world that's full of magic. Thank you for joining me. I am David.